Talanoff.
How are you?
Okay. This is the 5th annual Pete Petraitis Memorial, and being you're in the pace car, how do you think it's going to work out tonight?
Well, you know, in deference to Pete, who was always an outstanding individual on the island, he's got 2 cars. At least John has 2 cars out here. It would only be fitting that one of the 2 cars took the feature, but there's a lot of strong competition out here tonight. I see the cars are running faster and faster than ever before. They're breaking the 12-second mark, which is phenomenal. I watch their straightaway speeds. They're not as fast as the modifieds, but the corner speeds with the 3/4 are phenomenal.
How about tonight? You're going to be in the pace car, the number 40?
I'm going to be in a 40. That car's got quite a history to it. That was driven by Bob Tattersall back. The car was built by Edmonds in 1965, and Tattersall took it to championships with USAC in 66, 67. In 68, then he went down to Australia with that car, and he won the championship down there. Also a 3-time USAC champion, and then the car went to Ken Brent, was driven by Bert Brooks, and the Brooks passed away. Lee Earnshaw took over the car, and Lee won the championship in ARDC. Then Pete Petraitis bought the car, and he put Sonny Sanders in. Sonny ran the car at Nazareth, broke the track record on the mile of an eighth. And actually, this is the car that won the last full midget main event here on Long Island. It was February 13th, 1983 at the Nassau Coliseum. That's a strange story. Nobody could get around that track. Pete had the combination. He was the only car out there that was running with passenger car tires. As a matter of fact, those same tires are on the car right now. And most of the cars that came in, including the Midwest cars, had conventional midget tires. The secret to Pete's success was the fact that he had the passenger car tires. Strange story about that. Bob Levy was the promoter. That was $1,000 to win. And at the end of the race, he walked up to Pete, and he gave him $600. And Pete said, "I thought it was $1,000 to win." And Levy said, "That's all the money I got." Now, Pete had an obligation to his driver, especially Sonny was a pretty hot-tempered guy. It's not a well-known story, but Pete took $400 out of his own pocket and made up the difference in the price and paid Sonny half. I think Sonny got $500 for winning, but that is actually the last full midget race that was run here in Long Island.
Well, that's quite an impressive story. And once again, here's the advocate of TQ racing on Long Island, Lenny Kalanoff, the pal of TQ racing here on Long Island, and I hope they're off to a good start tonight, and it's a safe race. I think Pete's got his, John's got his back up against the wall with the new front runners they have today, with the new Rotax engines, and hopefully he can get in there. He's got some of the top-notch drivers.
Well, he's got Billy Coy in a car, and Billy looks very good out there in the heat. You know, he hasn't been active for about a year. Of course, Johnny Coy Jr. has always been a standout in full midgets and 3/4 midgets. It's a shame that Johnny never really got an opportunity to get into big-time midget racing and maybe progress into the sprint cars, because he's got the ability. A lot of the old man, Johnny Sr., rubbed off on him. He drives the same style. He can get the most out of any car, and if Pete can get that thing right, John can get that running tonight, he may be a factor up in the top 2 or 3 cars.
Yeah, well, it certainly seems like we missed Pete here tonight. We always want to say his name, and
well, you know, it's always going to be Pete. I keep calling John Pete because all of us knew Pete for so long on the island. He was an outstanding individual. I just like to have the money today that Pete gave away to race drivers that needed money, and never asked for the money back. He said, "Well, I'll give you a loan," but everybody tried to pay him back. He never took the money back. The man was not only a credit to the sport. Pete Petraitis is just a superhuman being.
That's a class act from both Lenny Kalanoff to Pete Petraitis, and I want to thank you very much.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be here, and the best of luck to you, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much.
doctor was on his dying bed, and a friend here was right there. He was all the way from Pennsylvania, and 5 minutes after he got there, Pete passed away. You remember that?
Yeah, sure do.
When you go back to Williams Grove, though, that goes way back.
Yes.
And you came in 6th.
Well, I showed up at Bloomsburg Fair to watch the races, but I always carry my helmet with me anyway. And Sonny Sanders didn't show up. He was supposed to run Pete's car, and Pete and I got together, and he said, "Oh, why don't you run it?" So I went out, and I got 6th that night in the feature. And I went to the payoff to got the money for the night. And I went up to Pete, and I gave him the money, and he handed me mine. And I said, "Well, we'll see you tomorrow at Williams Grove and everything, you know." And I turn around and start walking back down the pits to leave, and I'm counting my share of the money, and I went back to Pete. I says, "Whoa, Pete, you gave me too much." He says, "Look, kid, when you do a good job in my car, you get 50%. And I got 50% at Williams Grove the next day, and I got it all the next year when we won the Stock Block Championship.
That's a class story, folks. Another one from Big Mets. Thank you very much, Bing.